Hi, this is Terry from Fabric Junction in Sturgis, South Dakota. And today our 6-inch block is called Windblown Square. And it's kind of a fun, different one that has some different angles to it than we normally do. It's right here in the quilt. And I'll show you how to put it together. You'll cut a square for the middle and then several triangles. The center, you're going to do a square in the square technique. And as you can see, I've already got 3 started. I do opposite sides first. I have this one, so now I'm going to do this one. And when I do a square in the square, what I like to do is just kind of press the center. I just fold it. I put a little press in it. And this one here, I folded right sides together. So this one I'm going to fold wrong sides together. Put a little bitty press in there. And that way I can line up those 2 folds with each other. There we go. And I can sew. Get my 1/4 inch lined up. So now I have the last triangle added to my square in a square. I get that one, I have a press, I get rid of the dog ears. Now I'm ready to add the next set of triangles. On this particular one, instead of doing half square triangles like we normally do, a lot of them, we sew together this way, we're actually going to just take them and make larger triangles. And when I work with this kind of triangle to create a larger triangle, I try to sew from the 45-degree corner versus the real pointed corner that you would have. When I do it that way, I tend not to get the fabric down into the machine. You know how sometimes that little point wants to go down instead of across. There. So get it lined up, sewn, and I do continuous sewing when I'm working on projects like this. I have them, press, and I press to the light, and as the rule of thumb, I press to the light or the less bulky, whichever one works for you. Then I place them within my triangle, or on the sides. I place my triangles, ta-da, right where they belong. So now the next step, as you can see, you know exactly where you're going to stitch on the square and the square. You want to cross that intersection, and you can see it from the other side also. But now you need to be 1/4 inch on this one, and to mark that, get the right ruler, because I don't know if any of these are marked. I just go through and just right on that intersection there, I line my ruler up and I just put a light little line there. That gives me a place to stick my pin to line it up on the next piece. So I'm going to stick my pin right on that interchange. I don't need to mark the other direction. That's marked by my seam allowance. And I stick my pin in then right into this intersection where she crosses. Line it up and down. I take a second pin and I stick it in there nice and close, and I pull this one out. I don't turn this one because sometimes when I turn it, it'll shift. And if it starts shifting, I won't cross that intersection exactly where I want. Now the next thing I like to do is I'd rather sew from this side where I can see my X on my seam. Sometimes I can do it that way, sometimes it gets a little hard. But this time I can see it, so I am going to cross that intersection. Because I don't want to lose any of my tip. Off of my square. I don't want my square to start losing its look. So once I have it there, you can see I've got my tip and I still have my seam lined up on there. So I actually would do the opposite side. Can't believe I didn't mark all these little guys, but that's okay. So I do my opposites, and then the same thing when we get to the outer one. And this one here, I see my seam isn't quite exactly the same, and that happens to where my intersection is not quite a full 1/4 inch seam, it's less. And like I said, that can happen to us. The key is to keep your lines lined up, cross that intersection, because like I said, you don't want to start cutting off your tips. Let's see how close I got. Oh, I nipped it just a little bit. It's not enough that I'm really going to change it, but I could. I want to move on to show you. Let's see if we get this one. Okay, you get the idea. So we have our left and right. You're going to add your top and your bottom. Then you'll come along and add your larger triangles that you created using the exact same technique. You'll have your little cross section here. You'll mark your 1/4 inch here, fold, and open. I think you have the idea, the essence of creating this fun block. Like I said, it's just a really interesting block that I came across. So I have my block put together. I put on just a simple little border, top, bottom, side to side. All my measurements are on our blogs site called fabricjunctionjewels.blogspot.com. Add your backing, a batting, cotton batting, layer of Insulbright, put your block on the top, stitch where you want. I just stitched in the ditch on these little ones. I do a lot of just simple stitch in the ditch. Add your binding, and you have a beautiful set of potholders made with your windblown square. Do check us out though on our fabricjunctionjewels.blogspot.com and at fabricjunction.com. Thank you for watching.